I'm 50 with ADHD. These are things that I learned that can help you in your 30s and 40s if you have ADHD, so watch this. The thing that I really learned real quick is that the trap of I wish I had known this sooner can be a really just not a good path to go down. And the reason is because then you look at everything in your life previously that you could have done good at, that you could have had a different experience, you could have gone a different way if you'd only known. But if you like ruminate on those things, it just keeps you in this spiral of regret where you were just thinking about those things instead of moving forward. And here's one of the big mistakes that I made. Don't wait to get diagnosed. If you think you might have ADHD, then go ahead and make the appointment, get on the wait list. Whatever you have to do to get tested for ADHD, take all of those steps because the sooner you know, the sooner you can get accommodations or help, or if you want to get on medication, whichever thing that you want to do, you can't do it without having an official diagnosis. So make that appointment as soon as possible so you at least know if you have ADHD or you don't have ADHD. Now, when I went in to get tested, I knew nothing about comorbid conditions that might come along with ADHD. My psychologist said ADHD comes with friends. And so that means you have something else along with ADHD, whether it's bipolar, depression, whatever it is, right? And the thing is, if you're going to get tested for ADHD anyway, then ask if they can also test you for other conditions to make sure you know everything at once so you don't have to come back and get tested again and again and again. And I didn't know that medication was not the only option. Probably naive of me to not know that, but it really isn't the only option. And the thing about it was, I did not want to be on medication when I went in to try to get diagnosed. I was really adamant about it. I didn't know what the effects were. I'd only seen like what was on TV and in movies, and it makes it sound really scary. So that was my thought of it. But when I went in and started doing research and everything, then I kind of felt a little more comfortable. Now, I still didn't get on meds or even take medication for 4 years because I wanted to try to handle it without medication. And I found out that exercise is great for it. You can take some different supplements for it. There are things that you can do to actually help you around your home and stuff like that to help you handle it. And that I didn't know at all. So there are different options that you can do when you actually get diagnosed with ADHD if you don't want to do medication. And I think one of the biggest things that helped me out is to just go and educate myself on ADHD and how things work and what to look for and what not to believe and things like that, because there is a lot of information out there that is good, but there's a lot of information out there that's also bad. And if you get onto the bad information, then it can make you really confused and really just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do kind of feeling. That's at least what I got through that. So you want to kind of do your own research and figure out, okay, this is what I know about ADHD, and this is what can really help me as I go through my ADHD journey. And if you're getting value out of the content, then do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. And one of the best things I learned about was accommodations. I didn't know anything about them. And so when I went and got diagnosed, I realized, okay, I'm working, there are some accommodations that my work can actually give me to help me get my work done. If you are going to school later in life, then look at the accommodations for your school. But the thing about it is things like getting extra time, being in a quiet place, making sure that you have your environment the way you need to have it, and allowing you to stay focused on your work and get everything done. Because it's really important, because there are a lot of things that can distract you, a lot of things that can just make you not finish your work or be late or whatever. And so you want to make sure you figure out what the accommodations are. And that's one of the best things to research first as well. And something else I learned that is really important is to have some sort of support system, because it's much harder to get your work done, get, your schooling done, get anything done without some type of person or group in your corner saying, yeah, you can do it, or yes, you can do this, or this is what I can do to help you in some way. That's really important with ADHD because you are going to run in challenges and things that you just can't do without somebody helping you to get that thing done. Or it's just going to be a lot more difficult to do that thing without someone in your corner. And then you also just need someone or go to somewhere where you can just talk with somebody and talk out things and figure out things that way by bouncing ideas off each other, and then just feeling cared for and loved and have that support, because there are going to be times when you're frustrated. And that support system, those people that support you, those groups that support you, are going to be able to lift you back up so you can get through that frustration, so you can get through or over that hill that you are dealing with or that challenge you're dealing with. And that support system is actually going to be really important with burnout, because burnout is a real thing with ADHD. You get to the point to where you're just so frustrated that nothing seems to be working. You don't feel like getting up and doing anything. It's not because you just are not feeling the motivation. It's just you are just so to the point to where you just can't do anymore, right? You just are like, can't do this or can't do that anymore, because you are just at your point to where you're burned out. So you don't want to get overwhelmed in that way. You need to know that that may happen at some point in your ADHD journey. So you need to figure out like what you can do that will help you with the burnout, that will help you stay from getting overwhelmed, that will help you to release stress. Find something that will also help you just to have an outlet and help relieve the stress and help you get refreshed, whatever you have to do so you don't get burned out, because burning out is just not a fun thing at all. And here's something else. You need some guardrails in place, because when we were living at home with mom and dad, they gave us those guardrails. Made sure we got to bed on time, made sure we got to school on time, made sure that we did our homework and they would help us with it. All those things were put in place to make it an easier environment for us, to make sure that we accomplish everything we need to accomplish at the time. When you're not living at home anymore, you're 30 and 40, you don't have those guardrails in place. So you are just dependent on yourself without guardrails. And that can be a really, not necessarily a bad situation, but then you realize I'm going to get distracted here, distracted there. I'm not finishing what I need to finish. It was so much easier when I was at home with mom and dad. And now why is it not as easy? And if you're in your 30s and 40s, you've been living with this a long time, trying to figure out why things just are not being able to get certain things done. And that may be because you just don't have any guardrails in place. And so that means you have to adjust and have to figure out how you can put some guardrails in place, how you can get like a routine and figure out what things will help you stay on task and things of that nature. And one of the best things that can actually help you with this is to have timers everywhere. Timers are great because of the fact that time awareness is not a strong suit. If you're in your 30s and 40s, and you may just be busier in your 30s and 40s, so you need to actually have more time awareness. There are more things you have to do, more things that you're responsible for. If you have kids, you have to go through everything with your kids and make sure they are getting everything done that they need to get done as well too. And so timers are great because they give you a sense of this amount of time has passed, or this amount of time is the time that I want to do that certain thing. And I know when that timer goes off, I'm done. I need to go and do something else that I need to get done. Just trying to make sure that you have some sort of help that's a physical thing that will help you stay with time, stay within time, make sure you're not late to certain things. Now, a visual timer is probably the best thing for you, but you can use whatever timer that you want. But a visual timer is great because it has colors. You just turn the dial, and have the color fill up to whatever amount of time that you need to have or use. And 60-minute timer is great because you can put it for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes, or anything in between. And you know just by looking at it how much time has passed. And so that makes it really easy because you have a physical representation, easy to see representation of time. And then you learn about out of sight, out of mind, and realizing that just if something's behind something, if something is in a room where you put something down and you just left it under something, that you just forget things that are there or forget where something is. And so you need to be able to see things. Seeing things is one of the best things for ADHD. I didn't learn this until I was in my 30s and 40s, that I need to figure out a way to make sure I don't lose things. And so then I started to get clear containers. Then I made sure that things were easy to see no matter where they were in my apartment. And even if you forgot what you were looking for, as you walk around your home and just look at everything, then maybe you come across that thing, and that reminds you, oh yeah, I was looking for that thing and there it is. So being able to see everything is a really good rule to have when you have ADHD, you have a home or wherever you're living, or even on your office desk or wherever. Seeing is one of the best things for ADHD. And I didn't know how awesome labels were until I figured out I can put a label on something. I don't have to even think about it. I look at the label and that makes it so much easier to find whatever I'm looking for. I went to one place where I stayed in an Airbnb. They had everything labeled, which was the best thing for me because I knew where everything was just by going there and looking around the room. So easy to find stuff. Labels are great because you can put them on a side of a container, put them on a shelf to make sure you know where a shelf is. But with ADHD, you'll learn that working memory is something that is not something that when you have ADHD, you're not good at working memory basically, or you have a working memory deficit is what I mean. Because working memory is the memory that we use to actually take information in, work with it over the short term. And when you take information in for the first time, you're working with that information, manipulating that information to try to figure out where that information needs to go in your brain. Do you need to remember it? Do you need to throw it away? Whatever it is. And you're taking all that information in. Now, it is all your short term memory. So, what happens is that as you take in more, then your working memory is going to fill up. And so if it gets too full, then you're going to start to forget things. And when you have ADHD, you have maybe a little bit less, or maybe even a lot less working memory to work with. And so it's going to get full a lot quicker. And that means you're going to forget things a lot more. And so labels actually make it so you don't have to remember all that stuff in your brain at one time, which is one of the best things. And the other thing about it is if you're writing a label as well and putting it on somewhere as well, then the more times you write something, which is really cool, the more times you actually write something out, the more times you have the repetition of reading that thing or looking at that thing, and it helps you to remember that thing as well. And one of the best labels I can think of are sticky notes. They have bright colors. You can put them anywhere. If you make a mistake of putting it somewhere to label something, you can move it off really easily. And here's something else to think about. As you get older into your 30s and 40s, your memory may not be as good as when you were in your 20s. So you may need help anyway to remember things. So these things that help your working memory, these things that help you to remember things with ADHD can also be helping you to remember things because you're getting older as well. And sometimes you don't know if it's just you're getting older or you don't know if it's more about your working memory having a deficit. And sometimes I found that is really important is to laugh at yourself. You're gonna do some funny things. It's just gonna happen. It can be just a situation. It could be something somebody said or that you said that you made a mistake on, or some little small thing that you did that is just like, that's funny. So you have to be able to laugh at yourself and get that laughter because it's gonna be a lot of times you might make a mistake or do something that's not so funny. So take all the time that you can to find the funny things that you do, or funny situations that you get, or funny things that happen, or funny things that someone else might relate to you with as well. Y'all both think it's funny. You need laughter because a lot of times a lot of things can go wrong, and that laughter will bring you back up from all the things that brought you down. And so you need to just find something or think about things, or when you notice something is funny throughout your day, go ahead, laugh at it. Maybe it makes a good story, but it's gonna help keep you up so you don't get so far down. And something important to do is to find some sort of hobby, something you like to do that is a hobby. Find a few if you want to. If you find one hobby is really good and then you find 2 days later that hobby's not good anymore, then go and find another hobby. Have 3 or 4 hobbies. Have a list of things that you like to do that is fun, that might be multiple hobbies. If you switch from back to forth to whichever ones, that's fine, because you just want to have some sort of hobby or hobbies because it helps you to keep your mind off of things that might be bad, things that might have you down. and it helps keep your mind occupied. And when you're thinking about things, you might be thinking about a lot of things at once. And this hobby helps to keep you focused as well. Just brings you joy and entertainment for you. So you might like crafts, you might like playing video games, you might like movies, you might like going hiking or whatever. Try a whole bunch of different ones as well and figure out which ones you like, which ones you enjoy, and which ones you're like, I'm never going to do that again at all. I just don't like it at all. And the thing about it is with hobbies, sometimes you don't like something initially, and then years later you come back and like that thing. You're like, wow, this hobby is cool. Now I didn't like it at all before, but now this hobby is really cool. And something else to do is to make sure you have an ADHD friendly home now. Start building it out, figuring out things that will help you in your home to make it ADHD friendly. The reason is, if you don't have an ADHD friendly home and you get to 50 or even 40, if you're in your 30s right now, then it's going to be much harder to organize your home in your 30s and 40s if you have just been accumulating stuff and things are just all over the place and nothing kind of makes sense to you because there's just no order in your home. It's all really chaotic, which can be a thing, around an ADHD home. So you want to figure out things that can help you right now, today, or even this week, and figure out, do I have an ADHD friendly home? If not, then try to figure out what things you can do to help make your home ADHD friendly. You might put in place a landing pad, which is a place you put all your TV remotes, your cell phones, your wallets, whatever you want to have on that place. Then you put that thing there each and every day. You might want to have a command center in your home, which is kind of similar to a launch pad, but even more so as you have your phone chargers there, as you have your book bags there, or your briefcases there, whatever else you need for the day, anything that you need for the next day. And the thing about it is, everybody in your family will use a command center, which is great. Have a lot of, like I said, have a lot of clocks or timers or anything that makes it easy. Organize things by color. Those are just super easy things to do that will help make your home more ADHD friendly. And then if you do it now, when you get to 50, it won't be so hard to do it later. You'll be able to, well, it will help you throughout your 30s and 40s to make things just a lot easier for you as well. And to have that ADHD friendly home, this may be one of the most important things that will help you. Stop buying things you don't need at all. Because we're impulsive, you get impulsive, you buy this, you buy that. I have so much stuff that I bought that I just don't need, that just like, oh, this looked really cool at the time, but I don't use it now, or it's not something that I'll ever need again. I needed that one time. And so you want to just stop and think about those things. Do I need this thing? The easiest way to actually do this is like the 24-hour method. If you were thinking about buying something, you're like impulsive, you're like, I need it, it's cool, it's just shiny. Take 24 hours and think about it. Take 24 hours. And if you want to still buy it after 24 hours, then okay. Now there are some exceptions to that. There are some things you should never buy. And so you don't want to actually buy something after 24 hours that you should never buy. It just depends on you as to what those things are. But if you take that 24 hours, it will help you stop and think about, do I really need this thing? Or is it just something that I'm excited about at the time that I don't need at all and I'm buying it on impulse? And the other thing about it is, if you stop buying stuff you don't need, it's going to make sure that your house is more ADHD friendly because you have less stuff in your home. And every time you bring a new thing into your home, that's more things in your home that can create clutter. And so you want to make sure the things you actually bring into your home are things that you need. And one more thing that you can actually do that will help you is that use the one in, one out method. This is one of the best things for you. If you're going to buy something or somebody's going to give you something to bring into your home, then you have to get rid of one thing you have in your home already. So is this thing you're thinking about buying, or someone is giving you that thing, is it better, or do you have a place for that thing that they're going to give you or that you're going to buy? And what in your home are you going to get rid of? That way you're not creating more clutter you're keeping the amount of items the same in your home. And something else to think about is to break things down. If you can, it's going to make it so much easier for you to actually complete that thing or get to that goal or get to somewhere on time as well if a smaller task is more manageable for you. Sometimes larger, bigger tasks can be really frustrating and overwhelming for you. If you break those things down and make it a smaller section, a smaller task, a smaller amount of time, then it's much easier to do those things. For example, you do a daily declutter each day. Go around, just pick up things that are out of place and put them back in place for 5 minutes or 3 minutes or maybe even 10 minutes. And something else that might help you is I did a video about 5 different ADHD medications I took over a 6 year period. I tell you everything about what happened when I tried them. That video is going to come up on the screen. Click that video.